Good morning. My name is Echo Augustine. Welcome to Of Darkness and Light. I would like to talk about something today. Do you want to talk about trans femininity? Do you want to talk about superficial beauty standards? Is that what you'd like to talk about? Would you like to hear about my penis? What about my butthole? What about my titties, dude? I almost just flashed you. So almost just like, not gonna do it. We need to talk because there's something dastardly going on here and now before you all. Intents in the world are most calloused. People know, but they don't because they force themselves not to. And they know they do that. They hate it. Wait, I'm loving it. Wait, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That's how we do it. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving my life at McDonald's. I want to think about something. Are you loving it? Or can you remember when the McDonald's tagline went from whatever the fuck it was before to the Justin Timberlake, what do you call it? A ditty? I don't even know what you fucking call it. Jingle. He's like, dude, ba-da-da-da-da. He's like, dude, I'm gonna be rich forever. I just stole some notes from like every song ever, and then put them together in a way that I knew was gonna brain fuck people for the rest of their lives. Especially when you're like, I'm loving it. And it's just like, dude, they put that in there so deep. Think about this. When that happened, everyone was like, this is the most bold-faced, just like mental manipulation, just like total mind control, subliminal programming. Everybody saw it and was just like, oh, that's so disgusting. If people didn't think what I thought, which is, wow, that's shameless, they thought that's trite and boring and stupid, right? That is a mask. That is a intellectual conception of what's happening in your body. And your body is rejecting that kind of information. And then you manifest something in your head, which is a rationalization based off of the logical assumptions you've been coded to use through your like education and your lifetime. And then you're like, that's what it is. It's what I just said in my head. You don't feel down past the layers. And that's what I'm saying is, let's get into the layers, dude. Squiggle the realities. Do you get it now? You're not loving it. You're not loving it. There's like this whole weaving of horror and disgusting malfeasance against spirit and the earth and our people and community and the whole financial system being rotten and none of us getting to do what we want in the world and everyone kind of hating each other and becoming a cult of sadomasochistic rebels against the reality that all of this is because they put a hard line over the top. I'm loving it, dude. I'm loving this. And when people embrace that, they do not stand next to the people they actually care for the most. They find relationships that support the I'm loving it, right? And not only that, it's there has been a cultural rejection of trans women from the I'm loving it at all. Like, no, we're loving it without you. We told you you're in, but you're not. Because we changed our minds, because we looked at the worst of you that was blasted out by the media that decided to scapegoat trans women, because they're like, oh, that's an easy scapegoat. Everybody's got most bigotry about that. We can just have everybody fight over about trans women specifically for the next decade while a bunch of them die. While we take parents from their children, while everybody sits by and's like, ooh, I'm not gonna get down to the bottom of my layers. You wants it, dude. You're curious. Think about this. Who would be like, I don't want this person to date my child grown up as an adult. I don't want this trans person anywhere near my grown adult child. So I'm going to gaslight them to think that it's totally inappropriate for them to be with somebody by being backwards ass and just kind of like expressing my disdain for that type of human being, so they know in their guts that I don't support that. How many parents do you think do that to their kids when they see a trans woman, just like underhandedly say something to a kid growing up to kind of teach them that that's not okay? And then how many people are still enforcing that on their like adult children, right? And these are the people who are my peers. And I just mean like there's somebody in particular who I saw him through a whole summer. And then beyond, we kind of like rekindled a couple times, and when they were kind of like in and out of recovery. And there's somebody who I would still be friends with. I still love in my heart. I still love romantically in a way, definitely. But they, they're struggling because they're in a family that's trans misogynistic. They are definitely on the trans spectrum. They are a disabled person in their own way. And their rich family has treated them like a black sheep after pushing them into a life that abused them most, because they had to live the life of a model, a female model, and they were pushed into doing terrible things to themselves over again as a queer, trans spectrum person who expressed to me explicitly that they love me, and then gutted my hearts out over again, both of those things, and told me straight up once, how do I tell my mom my soulmate's a trans woman? And they had a buzz on, right, dude? But then later it's like they get more drunk, and then they have a mental block where it's like they genuinely have a really bad memory, but they remember the core things, and then they just kind of like play it into a zone of pretending they don't remember anything, and that all the stuff they did when they were drunk is not them. And it's like, dude, you gotta own what you did. It's like you deserve forgiveness too for being abused into this corner. It's the same. You've got to do the apologizing though, and then you've got to wait for the people to understand that you need an apology back for them letting you get into this situation. You have to be the bigger person. I've been doing that over again, and I haven't found any help, and I'm wondering why. And it's because I am a male woman. And that's why that person is a drunk, is because they're a person who's a trans amorous person at the base, right? It's like they love trans women, but it's not okay, especially if we got a head bump, right? It's like, especially if we're older and we have a kid, it's like, dude, I'm like a nexus point of nobody wants to fuck with me, because it's like, I have a child, I'm trans, I'm not superficially pretty, but I'm challenging because I own my femininity in a really powerfully authentic way. And I'm super intelligent, and I'm a powerful creative, and I'm disabled in a way that's really hard to understand. I'm schizophrenic. So this has been a deep dive, right? This is not fun stuff, but guess what? I still have a magic dick. And that's what I'm getting at is, I'm going to be doing comedy, and I kind of like did a few comedy routines, right? Where one of them's about how Black people genuinely cannot be racist. It's literally impossible. And then about how intersectionality is really important, because it allows white women to make up anything that they want and chain themselves to racism. and to leave white males behind and pretend that the word female itself is wrong when they're being misandrist. Oh wait, that word's not allowed, but they are against males, including trans women, who they also project their internally held misogyny at, and everyone just looks at as a sex object. So hey, guess what? Let's talk about the thing that nobody wants to hear about, which is my little dick and my clean butthole that I put stuff up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, dude. So when you want to make your trans woman or even just a super bottom male, right? Like that's cool too. If it's a gay male, you can do this too, hon. You probably know the gist, but I'm telling you, there is a very special way to do it. And it's called extended periods of like mental, physical wizard torture. Because there's absolutely nothing harder for somebody who's had a lifetime of having a very specific kind of release to give yourself everything else imaginable in a way that's kind of like exhausting sometimes, to tease it, the penis, but only enough until the moment it starts growing. And then you're like, hey, whoa, hands off, hands off, hands off. Got to do the other stuff. But you know, like gotta do the other thing. Got to make out with the shower wall and pretend it's something you want to put your tongue in. And you get hot, right? And your body gets hot, and then you hit a peak that's just like, holy fuck, right? Like, but it's not the same release. And you have to like walk away from that shower, like wanting to just go to town and get that old release. And then you're like, oh my God, that was like the best orgasm I ever had in my life, but I could get that other thing on the top, right? But if you did that, you would stop the beautiful atrophy process and the electrifying process. Because that's the thing, is there's some trans women that just don't use it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I never use it. I'm just doing the hormones and letting it atrophy. And it is this little no-go zone because I am dysphoric about it. Guess what? I have had dysphoria my whole life. Dysmorphia about gender and sex in particular, and my genital. I mean, why is it genitals, dude? It's a genital. I guess because you it's all the parts, right? Are those, yeah, whatever. But not anymore, dude. Now I'm just like, dude, I got a magic fucking giant trans girl clit. This is awesome. I got to teach people about this because people are going to be like, wait a second. This has nothing to do with hormones. Any male-bodied person could do this. And that's a really hot way to live, is like in denial of something your body wants because you know it's gonna make you like electrified to touch always, right? And it's just like, I'm not walking around aroused, but I'll tell you what, when I crawl in bed at night, when I hop into the shower, if my hand goes somewhere, it's like, whoop! It's ready for a touch. And so I'm not walking around with butt plugs in, dude. I don't do that. I do, check this, stay pretty active on the butt stuff though. Because once you get large enough things up there and like really up there, you're kind of like creating a situation of not the amount of like proper muscle constriction to really push things out until they get too big up there. So there's kind of a daily routine for somebody who does butt stuff, and people are always like, oh my God, all these gay men and trans women and all these kids doing anal, why do they like poop? Dude, we don't, but we're warriors with our fingernails, man, because that's what you do. Sometimes you gotta poke it. Or you just kind of like just get in there and open it enough right below, and then you're like, okay, and then you can get it out. But that's the thing, is if you're gonna go to town, right? If you're gonna go way to town and get the really good feelings with the butt, with the all the way up there and the butt feelings, it's got to be like totally cleaned out, totally all the way up, because you want. And so that's a process, because you do the drop, right, and then you're like, okay, I feel better. Then you start using a little bit of a toy, and then there's just a feeling. Trans women know this feeling, because we have had a traumatic moment in our history, usually when we were a teenager, where we've learned the lesson in a way we cannot forget. There's a feeling that means I need to stop this right now and get back to that toilet. But that's the thing. You don't do that with a partner. You do that ahead of time in preparation. And then you're like, holy shit, I'm all the way clean now. My whole body feels great because I feel like I just had an enema. And then once it was done, I took all the soap I could, like 6 times in a row, and I just like scrubbed the outside like I was delousing, and I like the inner walls, dude. It's just like, we don't play around with cleaning our butthole when we like butthole stuff, honeys. So get over it. It's not that we like poop, it's that we can turn our head off to clean it out. And you burn incense, dude. You burn incense, because that's the thing. It's like, when I was younger, I used to have these like 40-minute shower sessions. Family, I hope you're watching. Mystery solved. I was fucking with my ass. So I would do that whole process, right? And it's just like, when you can't, you got to burn an incense. Because imagine this. You're in the shower. Imagine this. Feel it in your heart. You're in the shower. You're fucking your ass. You realize you have to poop. You didn't get there. You're just getting started, dude. I just got started and I have to poop again? Fuck. So you do it. Oh, but you really open the floodgates. That's the whole thing, right? You're like, oh God. So what do? You flush, you spray, you let it land on your body, and you get back in the shower and you scrub everything to death, all of it again, to death. And then you like wash off a little bit, and then you're like, oh. And then you get back to it, but you gotta be careful. But that's why incense is important, because, you know, when you poop, you make the bathroom smell. And if you're hiding in your bathroom with your family, if anybody who has a male child that spends the longest amount of time in the shower imaginable, and you just think, wow, they're just a freak for rubbing them out. No, trust huns, that's not it. Yes and no. They are playing with the butthole, especially if you hear that or you notice like developed processes for how they prepare. If you see them folding, if you see anybody like folding a towel in their hands as they walk through your apartment, if you're roommates with people, and it's not like thrown over your shoulder, right? But it's like bundled, there's a dildo in there. So anyways, secret to the universe. But yeah, please spread the word. Trans women are cool. We should be able to exist in society. We need people to get over superficial beauty standards for the way that, I've got a face, dude, deal with it. I've got a face. That doesn't make me less of a woman. I have a voice that is more monotone than your average woman, and is definitely more from this area than your average woman. But who gives a fuck, dude? I have an Adam's apple that dropped. That doesn't make me less of a woman. And that's like the only thing holding me back, because I'm not pretty enough. My voice isn't really super high, and like I could do this. I could find a way to be like, welcome to Our Darkness and Light. My name is Echo Augustine, and I want to thank you for being here today. I really appreciate seeing you through the lens that I can't see you from. And then that's what fuck that, dude. I'm gonna talk how I fucking talk. It's hot. But that was kind of hot too. Maybe I'll do that more often. Who knows? When I'm past executive dysfunction, I might explore what feels best to me instead of just being on a kind of mirror trigger situation regarding having been a disabled person that's not being helped, that wants to destroy the roots of trans misogyny. So let's be honest, even if you don't want a little dicky or a male butthole, you've now looked at it. So we're friends. We're friends. You can get over it. You can get over it, dude. Get over gay men fucking each other. Get over whatever's weird to you. It's projection of insecurity. There's something there for you. It doesn't mean you're gay. It means you're jelly about something, probably. You're probably jelly about something. Let's be honest. Like, you're probably jelly about something. I have so many people that are jelly about stuff, and it's the most absurd, insanity thing ever. Because I am literally being genocided from culture, and people are like, you're just trying to take a bunch of good stuff. It's like, I'm trying to take a little help to survive as a disabled human being. Yeah, let's talk about my little dick until somebody helps me, because apparently that's what it's about. Fucking freaks, dude, get over it. Stop watching the grossest porn in the world and then associating it with me. Please associate with yourself, porn freaks. Do you know how often I look at porn while I do that stuff? Occasionally. But God, it's always the deepest dive. I'm just like, no, vibe. That one looks okay. And then I'm like, no, it's not. And then I usually just give up. I'm like, dude, I'm more creative than this. It's just sometimes you feel lazy, right? And you want a little like visual stimulation that's not like a pure visualization in your mind. But like, I'm gonna tell you, finding that for a trans woman and not feeling like you're taking part in the system that is completely destroying you, not really possible if you're an honest person. So, yeah, I guess watch less porn with trans people if you're not going to treat us like humans, and then kind of like work out the whole thing. And it's like, and also know, some of us have really magic, fun dick clits that you can literally suck and won't get bigger. And I'll just like shake. I'll just shake. You just play with it. You just play with it in your mouth, dude. Who doesn't want that? Even I would do that. Dude, I've been with a trans woman once and it was really hot. Dude, they smell great. I don't even care about what's going on downstairs because it's like, dude, you're a lady and you got something fun. But that's not my vibe long term. And people saying trans women need to be with trans women, you can find that's bullshit. Because by and large, the trans feminine community is filled with disabled people and highly autistic folks. It's like, that's a reality, dude. Let's talk about it. Yeah, there are disabled people that are like, hot. I am a spiritual yogi and meditation instructor who held space with community and women and decided that the thing that they were praying for their whole life and the heart feelings they always had when they looked at estrogen transition were actually a sign from themselves about what they were meant to do because of who they were. And I'm the one who doesn't have any friends. And Lily Tino is out there spreading the grossest misinformation in the grossest way, making it all superficial and about like being a part of queer cult. And it's like, that's what people know. There's a guy at a gas station that showed me a video. I was like, did you see the new Lily Tino video? And I was like, I thought it was a musician. I was like, who's that? and they showed it to me. I was like, oh my God, I like snapped at him. I was like, don't you fucking show me that, dude. I was like, why would you do that to me? I was just like, I don't want to watch that. I'm not watching that. Thank you. Thank you for never showing me that again. Think about this. I hate that person. And they were somebody that hated him too, but then they're like, why did I have this person look at that? Like, oh wait, I was just being a bad person because I think that they're invalid and I wanted to rub it in their face. And then they taught me that they hate this too. And so that person's been really nice to me since then, because I didn't snap at him as hard as I just did to the camera. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. Please help me. Thank you.